Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Many creators enjoy making original characters, OCs, for fun. However, some have a harder time developing their brainchildren than others. I've been on both sides of this coin and only recently have I figured out my method. There is no right or wrong way to your personal method, so in this video, I'll go through a few ways one can develop an OC. Number 1. We all know this one. If you ever Google character development, you're shown these little sheets asking basic questions such as name, age, and interests. Other questions can include their favorite sport or whether they prefer tea or coffee. Don't get me wrong, some of these are well written, but if you're like me, there will be certain questions where you hit a wall. Most of my problems come from not understanding the question or a word, and it gets a little frustrating when you can't answer them. As I referred to a character questionnaire from thescriptlab.com, it comes with examples as to what your OC might be like. It's definitely helpful, but reading it feels a little overwhelming. So many question marks. The second, interviewing your OC. Similar to the profiles I previously mentioned, these will ask more interesting questions such as what your character would do in a situation. I tried this with one OC who was new at the time, but even that stumped me. He came from a dream and apart from the basics, I had no idea what to do because the world around him wasn't developed enough either. A blog called Helping Writers Become Better Authors has potentially useful information on this topic. This and the character profile seem to me as better suited when you have a basic understanding of your OC and their world. Now, how does one gather an understanding if these methods are for creating OCs? There are several ways around this. One is taking a random guess as to what they do. For example, an old one I came up with pipe cleaners. Dylan is Jamaican and likes spaghetti. He also rides a bicycle and I made the bike out of pipe cleaners too. You can also build from a saying or trope. For example, old mate here, Mark Handley, derives from 3 tropes. One is the Master and Crazy Hands from Super Smash Bros., made for roleplay purposes. He originally had a mysterious air about him when you talked to him on the phone. However, when I introduced him in the flesh, he became a joke, as now he's a wizard. And that brings me to his second feature. He surfs a vacuum cleaner and sings Britcom themes. Anything sound familiar? In Looney Tunes episodes where Witch Hazel appeared, the most famous saying thrown around is, "Your mother rides a vacuum cleaner." The Britcom singing, however, came from watching Top Gear, when the stick would try out reviewed cars and have odd music playing on the radio each episode. To fill time, I'll tell you more about Mr. Handley. He's a Korean Canadian who's really jovial and has a voice for radio. As you can tell from his wrinkles, he's middle-aged. While he mentors a fairy and a witch, and I'll get to her in another video, he has a sort of prejudice against witches, stemming from past trauma. His left hand is meant to look wobbly because of that trauma. The crystal ball in his good hand is what he uses to find a person or check on progress from afar, and he fits about 3 of them in his bum bag. His main goal, though, is to become Grand Wizard. To reach that goal, he must be able to handle all types of magic, including dark magic, and find a cure for his hand, though that's a personal choice. One thing he does is create a very complicated Frankenstein. They're usually difficult to build, so he racks extra points for his creation. As another quick example, I have a demigod character who's short and uses soap on a rope as his weapon of choice. The best character development method I can think of, though, is plain writing. Putting your OC to good use. That can be through writing scenes or roleplay. When your character can interact with an object or another character, their personality develops further. To me, without homes for my OCs, I have no use for them. Of course, your own development journey is up to you. Because I know certain people would prefer the first 2 ways, I have provided links in the description. So fly, my pretties! Make your story with this information under your belt. On another note, I'm selling this piece on Redbubble. Please check out my store as I have more prints, such as my Smiley Foods range. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.